Welcome to the channel. Today's episode, we're going to see if we can get the motor in the Aristocrat unstuck. So, yeah, this should be fun. If you watched the last episode, you saw that, well, I was a little surprised. The motor had been gone through, or it's been painted, but that probably was several years ago. So it's stuck. I've put a wrench on it and pulled, but I haven't been able to get it to move. I get my breaker bar back from my son, then I'll give it a shot. But for now, for today, we're going to spray off the salt from the road when I pulled it up, and we're going to pull the spark plugs, put a little marble mystery oil in and let it sit for a while and see if we can make a difference. And maybe we'll drain the oil, see what it looks like. Well, I think I got a lot of it off. I wetted it up good the first time and then kind of went back and did it again, and at least most of it seems to have come out. It might take more than one try. That Virginia salt is, actually this was probably North Carolina. It was snowing coming up Fancy Gap. Let's take a look. I probably should drain the oil first, so I can kind of get a read on it before I put the mystery oil in the cylinders. So I think I'll go grab my tray and at least start and drain the oil and get a look at it. It doesn't look great. I'll tell you, on the dipstick, it doesn't look great. So I'm a little nervous that the pan is full of water. Guess we'll see. Okay. Now, what kind of idiot would spray his car and then crawl under it? Probably should have done this first. I'm not sure what size nut this is. It's a big one. Bigger than a 1-inch. I brought the big dog here. 1 1/8, maybe? Aha, there it is, 1 1/8. So, if we get lucky, we can. Oh, holy. Okay, whew. Oh. Well, that was on there pretty good. Pan over there. Now, I've got this pan that kind of has a large mesh, and so all the oil goes through pretty fast, but I like to put a towel in to kind of catch a little of it so I can look for particles easier. Let's see what we get here. Can you see that? I'll pull you up a little closer. Okay, here we go. Nope, that does not look good. There's definitely water in that. Or, no. I don't know. It has a, well, no, that's oil. So what it had is it had some water in it from somewhere. But the oil itself is very new looking, very clear and new with some sludge. That's just, that's unfortunate right there. Well, you saw what I saw, right? All right. Water and oil, engine stuck. Okay, what could it be that might not be as bad as what it seems to be? And how will I determine? So for now, Marvel Mystery Fluid into the cylinders, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so today we're going to see if our oil worked. I don't know if you guys have been watching the weather on the East Coast, but we've had a lot of rain, lots of rain. And I'm working outside, as you can tell. So we've got a nice sunny day today. We're going to see if the oil worked. But before I do that, I got to get the hood up because like an idiot, I closed it. And remember, it doesn't have a latch. So we're going to get that up first. So take my screwdriver, lift up on the top from the back. Put my board in to create the teeter-totter effect and see if I can find the little things again. I'm getting better at this. Oh, my glasses. Right there. Bingo. So, 1, 2. Also got a few parts. Got a new rag joint for the steering. Try to get that put on. I kind of cobbled it together with the old broken one enough to drive it or pull it back here and let my son drive it, but need to replace that. Got new spark plugs, got new plug wires. Some of the things I thought I'd probably need. The spark plugs in this are pretty rusty. I think I saw that earlier. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull those spark plugs back out. I put them back in just to make sure no bugs, moisture, whatever got in there. So I'm going to roll them back out, and then we're going to put a breaker bar, and with any luck, we can get that thing to start moving. Yeah. So before I try that, I'm going to take the spark plugs out. They will have to be replaced, though honestly, the Marvel oil on them kind of cleaned them up pretty good, so might could have reused them, but I went ahead and bought new ones. Nothing fancy, ones that'll work. I think I bought auto lights, which is what these are. Anyway, we'll get those put in after we loosen it up. And we got new wires. And then most importantly, I have new freeze plugs. So while I'm doing this, let me tell you this is what I'm thinking. So we got a motor that's seized up. We got a motor that I was told by the previous owner that the owner before that said that it was rebuilt. But the owner before that was the widow of the fellow who had been doing work on it to restore it. So, you know, you got, what, third-hand knowledge there. I do see that there's new paint on the motor. There's paint on the oil filter. And so something has been done. Let's just say freshened up, new seals, something. But at that point, I'm wondering if the fellow did not put oil back in it, or much oil, or never ran it. So the oil passages and stuff are all dry. And maybe the pistons never saw oil. So I'm hoping it's just a surface rust. A slight rustiness. We'll see. It was in Florida. It came out of, I think, Alabama. Both very humid places. So I'm a little worried about it, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, I brought it up here, and so I bought it in, I believe it was January or February, and I pulled it to Virginia. When I moved it from over there to here in the grass, I found a freeze plug laying on the ground. That freeze plug had no RTV on it at all, and the hole doesn't either. And I'm not a mechanic, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to put a little bit on there. So what has me concerned is that if I brought it out of Florida, that the previous owner might not have put any antifreeze in when he was putting the motor together, and he might have just put water in the radiator. And I brought it up in January, February, and it was cold. So I don't know if there was water in the motor that pushed the freeze plug out, or if the ride vibrated the freeze plug out. Actually, I think if I remember right, it wasn't on the grass, it was on the dolly that I pulled it up with, is when I found it. So it could have happened on the road, but it sat on the dolly for a few days before I unloaded it, so it might have also frozen, pushed out, and fell on the dolly. So I think the odds are I have a cracked block, because you saw in the last video, when I drained the oil, there's a lot of water in the oil. I do know that water sometimes, builds up over time due to humidity. Also, this hood is detached. If this was sitting out and there is no screw, there's nothing holding this, if rain hit this, it could easily go down the carburetor because of the way that's designed. So at the moment, I'm working on the assumption that it might, I'm working as if it might be okay. I think the odds of it being okay are pretty high. I mean, the odds of it being not okay are pretty high. The odds of it being okay. But there is a set of circumstances that could have happened, like if the freeze plug fell out and if water went down that over the years, then it could be good. So I'm going to go with that for now until I'm proven otherwise. So I have new freeze plugs. I've got antifreeze to put in. Get those installed, get the motor loosened up, get a little crank on it maybe. If I get this moving, I'm going to move it by hand several times to make sure that I'm pumping a little oil through oil passages. I know you can pull the distributor out and turn it by hand inside, but I'm also not a great mechanic. And with Nugget, I struggled getting the timing right. And I'm a little nervous about pulling it out and having to do that again. But I might do it. I know it's the right thing to do. But, yeah, we'll see. I'll see how I feel that day. Anyway, right now I'm pulling the plugs out. We're going to crank it by hand with luck and see if we can't get it to move a little. Let's see what happens. I got all these out. I got to get those. I also have an oil filter, oil to put in it. And I actually have oil to do it twice and 2 oil filters. Come here. Come here. You don't have to be on. Come here. April is coming over to talk to me while I'm working. She's been out getting groceries, dropping off my grandson. What's up, babe?
Ready to walk?
Ready to walk. Boy, am I. So, my wife and I are exercising. We're walking 2 miles. So I'm going to pull out these next 3 spark plugs, and then I'm going to take a brief siesta because I love to exercise. Yeah, So anyway, it'll make me stronger to try to turn the motor. I really have high hopes. We'll see. I'm hoping to get a little bit of movement, run it around a few times and loosen it up. Ooh, that was a bugger. Okay, it's in there. Boy. One, 2. Nope. Not quite enough, or my fingers are too greasy. Oh yeah, there we go. 4 out. Okay. Brief break for 2 miles of exercise. Stick around. For you, it would only be about this fast. Well, 2 miles and 40 minutes later, I'm back. So, plugs are out. Let's crawl under and see if we can make this thing turn. Okay, so I'm set up. I got my track mat down. If you don't have a track mat and you work in the gravel, you should get you one. These things are awesome. I have 2 of them. Had one in Virginia, one in Alaska, and the one in Alaska I hauled all the way down here. Anyway, got my braking bar, 15/16 inch socket to get back in there, and let's see if we can make it turn. I'm not positive you'll be able to see much from up there, but you should be able to see the fan go around if that belt holds out. Definitely the belt needs replaced, but one thing at a time. All right. Oh, there's a little movement. Okay. Try again. Oh, it's moving. I hope you can see it from up there. The Marvel Mystery Oil worked. Okay. Let's see if I can get you down here. A little turn. A little bit. Come on now. Break loose for me. It's moving. Slow but sure. You have a bigger ratchet, maybe. Oh. Oh. A little bit. A little bit. Come on. Come on. You can do it. All right. Possible I'm just unscrewing that and bolting it. No, because that wouldn't move. Oh, nope, I am. I'm just doing the bolt. Okay, maybe go the other way now. That's the bolt just moving. Righty tighty, let's turn the motor the right way. Get your head out of the way, dummy. All right. Okay, let's make it better. Is that right? No. I don't know. All I know is it won't go the other way, it'll go this way. No drive shafts on it. I'm gonna take it out of gear. There's no drive shafts, but it would keep from having to turn transfer case and things, transmission. Okay. Oh, I don't know now. Oh, that was a good move. That moved nice. Yeah, another good one. Come on, baby. Oh, now I got tight again. Got tight. I think I have a, let's see. I'm gonna move my camera over here. Now, get my foot against the tire. Ooh, another little movement. Oh, goodness. Should have done this before I walked 2 miles. First had to, I could take the valve covers off, peck on the push rods a little, and we'll try a little bit more. Nope. About to pop a gut. Okay. So what do we do? What do I do? I might go get some acetone. I just used Marvel Mystery Oil. And I've heard a 50-50 mix of Marvel Mystery Oil and acetone, which is basically fingernail polish remover, is a good mix for breaking one loose. I got movement. It definitely moved through, but I've got a rust ridge on something somewhere that I can't get past. And now I've pushed it so tight in that direction, when I come back, it's just loosening the bolt up. What do you think? Put in the comments. Help me out. Got a little movement. Should I take the valve covers off? Because I could probably do that. That isn't too hard. Peck on them a little bit. Couldn't hurt. Just a little bit. Any other ideas? Okay, so I'm gonna pull the valve covers off. Let's see what we got. Doesn't look too complicated. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I don't think my cylinders are really full of oil anymore. I think it all made it down to the oil pan at this point. I don't know if that's good or bad. Probably not great. It has been sitting here 3 weeks with oil in it. Yeah, well, let's look under the valve covers. Okay, valve covers. Here we go. So the 3 different bolts that are in there. You know it was a quality build. But the diameter of these is all the same. Hoping that guy's not a metric or something, but threads all match up. So maybe not. Okay. So screwdriver, see if we can pop that thing off. All right, let's see what we get. A big old rubber gasket. You get down in there and see. So there we go. Honestly, doesn't look too bad. I mean, at least as far as I can tell, not a lot of rust. No movement in that one. That one. Ooh. Now it's got quite a bit of movement now. Okay, let's get the little peck on him a little bit. Well, nothing too amazing or bad in there. I can get almost all of the push rods to spin, but I think the others that don't are just because, one, they're really greasy, and two, they have pressure on them because of where they are in their rotation. But all the springs definitely have that one's a firm one right there. Again, it's one that won't move, and I think it's just because of where it is. If I could roll the motor a little bit, then peck on it, then I would know. If I could roll the motor, I wouldn't be here. So this doesn't look bad. I'm gonna go over and do the other side, but before I do that, I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of Marvel Mystery Oil into each of the push rod holes. That'll go down to the, oh, actually probably do a little of everything, just to kind of douse it good. I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why not. I'll douse it all real good. It's pretty dry in there. But it does not look to me rebuilt. And I don't know what that would look like. It seems to be there's carbon in there built up. And I would assume if you rebuilt it, that wouldn't be there. So I'm going to think it was probably freshened up, painted, gaskets replaced. This looks new. Is my guess. What's your guess? I agree totally. Well, let's look at the other side. I'll peck on those too. We'll go from there. It's weird. I can still see the marks where somebody wiped these out at one point. Actually, I think they used a wire wheel on a drill because all of the rub marks are in the same direction. All right. Well, I'm gonna show you something. All right, so very much the same on this side, right? You come across, look at there. Someone pressed an old ground cable under the valve, under the valve cover. I do not think that is supposed to be that way. Weird. Weird. Anyway, same as before. Let's peck on them a little bit. Before you think, I got movement on this one. A little bit of movement, a little movement. I can't not get that one to move. Little movement, little movement, little movement, little movement. No movement. Let's see what we get. Definitely a springy sound. Spring. 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 Okay, so the plan is a little Marble Mystery Oil down. Everything, really. Braking bar, farm jack, and time. So I'm gonna put the braking bar back onto the the bolt there on the harmonic balancer and put the jack against it and add a little pressure and then just let it sit again. And then I'll go get some Marvel of Mystery Oil and put back into it with some acetone and see if weight and time will let it spin some more. We'll see. So yeah, there's the plan. Okay, so it's a couple days later. I've got the jack under there. It's still holding pressure on the breaker bar to see if we can get it to move. It hasn't released yet. So I went to the store last night and picked up acetone and a little more Marvel Mystery Oil. I'm going to mix it 50-50 and put it back in the cylinders. Most of the oil in the cylinders had dissipated, gone down through, probably in the oil pan now. After it sat there for a couple of weeks. We did get a little bit of movement, but it has hit a point that I'm a little nervous to crank on it too hard. So we're going to try this first before I really torque on it. So about 50-50 is the plan. Oh. Ooh. I don't know that it's too bad to get that on you, but maybe you should use gloves if you do this. It's not working great. I need a little lower. Wowee. That stuff smells good. Okay. I'd say I got about a quart in there. Got about a half a quart on the ground. Oh. So now a little more Marvel. Perfect. Ooh, got a little on my leg. Doesn't seem to hurt. Okay. So, got a good 50-50 mix. Seems to be good. Funnel in the holes. Let's see what we get. Do a little splash in each one. I know one of the pistons is way up at the top. I wish I had one of those cameras where you could look down and I might be able to figure out which piston's the one giving me trouble. But I don't. So we'll do a little splash in each of them. Okay. So we'll see what happens. The acetone and the Marvel has been in there for a couple of hours. let's see if it did anything. I suspect it probably needs to sit in there for a couple of days, but we'll give the jack there a little crank and we'll see if it moves at all. Yeah, still real tight. Hey, that's moving. So holding the pressure on it worked. It was still pretty firm, but it definitely went. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Ugh. Get my finger pincher out of the way. All right. Well, let's, I'm gonna go get my mat to lay down and do a little more cranking on it. Okay. Now let's see what we get. I've got my new rag. It's from earlier in the episode. My crappy old t-shirt. Oh. Yep, we got a little movement. Oh, oh. Ooh, I gotta do it slower. I'm getting an acetone shower. Wow, what a smell. They don't warn you about that. Oh, well, I guess they probably do if you read the can. I didn't read the can. Oh, we've hit another tight spot. All right, well, patience. It's moving, but I've hit another spot where it feels really stuck. Got a little movement. Little, it's raining. Acetone again. All right. We'll get you a better angle. That acetone stinks. I have a mask somewhere. I feel like I should have that on. I'll be back. Okay, what I got here is one of these masks. I haven't used it in a long time. It does say chemical cartridge, so I think that's for smells. Apparently a mouse has been using it as a place to put bird seed, sunflower seeds. Apparently I don't use it enough. So what do you think's better or worse? Smelling acetone or putting your mouth in something that a mouse apparently has been living in? It doesn't smell too bad like mice. Sunflower seeds in the throat weren't great. Well, let's try it. I think I put that on first, don't I? We'll see. All right, back into the acetone. But that looks good, doesn't it? Can you hear me? Probably not. Put my safety glasses on. Well, it's not seized anymore. I got 2 full turns on it, and I believe if I put a battery in it and use the starter, I could probably rotate it a few times. But I really want to put a little more oil in and let some acetone soak in there a little bit more. I don't have any more Marvel, but I do have some diesel fuel, and I do have some automatic transmission fluid with both of them mixed. With acetone, I think would be equally as good. So we'll mix up a little jug and I'll pour it back down and we'll let it set for a couple of days. But it is not seized anymore. So be sure and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. We'll see if we can't get this thing to fire off next time. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you out there on the road. Maybe in this one, eventually.